It's been nearly a week since the sixth Starship test flight, and while SpaceX didn't catch the booster this time around, they're wasting no time gearing up for the next mission. Beyond that, Starbase is buzzing with activity, from work on new vehicles and launch pads to surprising developments like the scrapping of Ship 26. There's plenty to unpack here, so let's dive into the aftermath of Flight 6 and everything happening at SpaceX's test site. As usual, the launch mount at Pad A bore the brunt of the launch's fiery power. However, this time the damage was slightly less dramatic since SpaceX didn't attempt a booster landing alongside the launch. Workers quickly returned to the pad to assess the damage, bringing back the scaffolding, dance floor, and an army of cranes and lifts. Within days, they had already reinstalled the guiding pins on the launch mount's deck, a key step in preparing the pad for the next booster's arrival. One area of concern was the quick disconnect systems, particularly the ship's umbilical connection. It suffered significant scorching during the launch, with visible charring on the protective door. This is an issue SpaceX will need to address before the next flight, as consistent damage to such critical components could impact their long-term reliability. Another eye-catching detail from Flight 6 was the bent antenna tower atop the launch structure. While its exact purpose remains a bit of a mystery, likely a mix of weather monitoring and communications, it has since been straightened. It's worth noting that Elon Musk mentioned a communications issue contributed to the booster's diversion during the flight, although it's unclear if this particular tower was involved. On the bright side, the chopsticks used to catch the booster seem to have fared well since they weren't called into action. Teams are already inspecting and preparing them for future use. Meanwhile, SpaceX is busy restocking its massive cryogenic supplies. A steady stream of trucks has been refilling the liquid methane, liquid oxygen, and liquid nitrogen needed for each launch, a process made even busier by the arrival of a new tank to support the growing operations. Speaking of growth, work on Pad B continues at a steady pace. While it's not ready for launches yet, major progress is being made. A new LR-1000 crane is being assembled on site, likely to handle heavy lifting for the installation of chopsticks and the ship quick disconnect arm. Meanwhile, the draw work system, which will move the chopsticks up and down the tower, has been installed, and the cable spool for this system was recently added as well. Over at the Sanchez site, workers are welding together pieces of Pad B's launch mount, focusing on the middle layer that will house the rocket's 20 hold-down clamps. The hardware for Pad B, including the chopsticks and carriage system, is also undergoing upgrades. These refinements will bring them up to par with the systems at Pad A, ensuring both pads are equally capable when the time comes to ramp up the launch cadence. Now, let's turn our attention to the vehicles themselves. For Flight 7, SpaceX is expected to use Booster 14 and Ship 33. Booster 14 recently completed cryogenic proof testing and has been outfitted with engines and grid fins. It's now undergoing final preparations in the Mega Bay before heading to the launch mount for static fire testing. Ship 33 is a particularly exciting development. It will be the first Block 2 ship featuring significant design improvements over earlier models. After completing cryogenic proof testing last month, Ship 33 received its Raptor 2 engines and is awaiting engine tests at the Massey site. While the exact timeline for Flight 7 remains uncertain, SpaceX seems eager to incorporate lessons learned from Flight 6 into these next-generation vehicles. One of the key takeaways from Flight 6 was the importance of heat shield performance. During re-entry, Ship 31 suffered extensive damage, with over 2,100 tiles removed from its sides to accommodate catching hardware. SpaceX will likely focus on ensuring Ship 33's heat shield is robust enough to handle re-entry stresses, especially as they inch closer to attempting a ship catch with the chopsticks. Interestingly, a NASA document recently revealed that Flight 7 could happen as early as January 11th, although that date might shift depending on ongoing preparations. According to the document, the ship's re-entry will occur over the Indian Ocean following a similar flight profile to previous missions. If successful, this flight could pave the way for even more ambitious objectives, including full orbital missions and catch attempts. While Flight 7 is on everyone's radar, SpaceX isn't just focused on the immediate future. Inside the Mega Bay, Booster 15 has been moved to the central workstation for outfitting, while Booster 16's liquid oxygen tank was recently completed. These next-generation boosters incorporate subtle but meaningful upgrades, signaling that SpaceX is laying the groundwork for an increased launch cadence in the months ahead. And then there's the curious case of Ship 26. Once a promising prototype, this ship was recently scrapped after more than 2 years of sporadic development. Unlike other starships, Ship 26 never received flaps, a payload bay door, or even a PEZ dispenser. It was likely used as a test article to gather data, but its unconventional design and mysterious modifications puzzled observers for years. Now, its parts will likely be recycled into future prototypes. Star Factory is expected to support an ambitious goal of 25 launches per year, as outlined in a revised draft environmental assessment from the FAA. This updated plan also allows for up to 3 nighttime launches annually, adding a new dimension to Starbase's capabilities. The FAA's updated assessment reflects changes prompted by SpaceX's water deluge system and other environmental considerations. While the public comment period is ongoing, the revised plan marks another step towards SpaceX's vision of routine, high-frequency launches. So, what's next for Starbase? With Pad B nearing completion, new boosters and ships in development, and plans for orbital missions on the horizon, the pace of innovation shows no signs of slowing down. Flight 7 will undoubtedly be a major milestone, but it's just one piece of the larger puzzle as SpaceX continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in space exploration. What do you think? In conclusion, while Starship Flight the 6th of May not have been the flawless success SpaceX had hoped for, it provided valuable insights and lessons that will propel the program forward. With significant progress being made on both Pad A and Pad B, new vehicle developments, and crucial upgrades to key components, the path to future missions, including the highly anticipated Flight 7, is clearer than ever. As SpaceX continues to innovate and refine their technology, the dream of routine, high-frequency launches becomes more tangible. With each step from booster recovery systems to new launch infrastructure, SpaceX is steadily transforming the landscape of space exploration. As we look ahead, the excitement only grows. Will Flight 7 mark a new milestone, or will we witness even more unexpected breakthroughs? Will Flight 7 stick to its January timeline, or will SpaceX surprise us with an earlier launch? And how soon do you think we'll see a successful ship catch? Don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe for more jaw-dropping space updates, and join us as we embark on a cosmic journey like never before.